Welcome to Visual Knowledge. This is where we encourage you to think as opposed to telling you what to think. So with that being said, let's get started. So with that being said, as we begin, I have three questions. Yes, three questions that I need you to ponder. So those three questions are, does dyspraxia affect memory? That's the first question. What is memory? That's the second question. And does diet improve memory? So that's the third question. So let's call this the three premises. So according to the Dyspraxia Foundation, dyspraxia can affect memory. So the quote is, poor memory, especially short-term memory. So end of quote. So according to the Dyspraxia Foundation, memory is affected. But then this can lead to the next question, and that question is, what is memory? And a quick Google search will give you this type of definition, quote, memory refers to the processes used to acquire, store, retain, and later retrieve information, end of quote. And then we have the three types of memory, and this is central memory, short-term memory, and long-term memory. So let's quickly recap. So we've looked at the fact that dyspraxia does or is affected by memory, and we've quickly looked at what memory is. So then the next question is, does diet affect memory? Let me repeat, does diet affect memory? So you can just do a few Google searches and you can see that diet does affect memory. So diet can affect memory in a good way and it can affect memory in a bad way. In simple terms, bad food will affect your memory in a negative way and good food will affect your memory in a positive way. So what have we established so far? So we've seen that dyspraxia has a relationship with memory and memory has a relationship with diet. So if we can say that dyspraxia affects memory and diet affects memory, it's only logical to then look at what types of diet or what types of food can specifically help your memory, which will then help your dyspraxia. So like I said, diet can have a positive impact on memory. So with regards to this, I'm going to be mentioning three foods that can help your memory and therefore they can help you with your dyspraxia. Now before we move forward, quick disclaimer, I'm not a dietitian, I'm just a guy on YouTube. So, if you have, if you need any dietitian advice, you should go to your GP and be referred to a dietitian. So, as I said, do your own research, and as we always suggest, we encourage you to think for yourself. So you may be thinking, well, diet doesn't improve memory. And my response to that would be, really? Okay, so enough of that, let's just get into this. So the first thing is blueberries. And blueberries are good for memory because they enable communication between the brain cells. And apparently this is a good thing for memory. So that's the first one, blueberries. So the second food is actually a spice, and that's turmeric. And turmeric enables the brain cells to grow. Think of it like this. People grow, baby elephants grow, trees grow, and when you take turmeric, brain cells grow. And in this context, that is a good thing. So the third food is nuts. And nuts help cognition and they prevent degenerative disease. Now you might be thinking, what is neurodegenerative disease? And I can barely say the word, but when we use this word, we're talking about unfortunate conditions such as Alzheimer's. It's fascinating, isn't it? Because when some people in society use the word nuts, they're actually referring to negative mental health. But when we use the word nuts, we're actually referring to positive cognition. So maybe, just maybe, you think nuts don't improve memory. And my response to that is interesting. Okay, so this is the video vlog element of dyspraxia and memory, which, as we've established, foods that improve memory will help you with dyspraxia. But now we're going to transition into animation, where my co-collaborator is going to give you her perspective on what foods can improve memory. So I'll see you there. So we've been talking about dyspraxia and memory, and I've spoken about how diet can improve memory, and because diet has a relationship with memory and memory has a relationship with dyspraxia, if you improve your diet, that will effectively help you with your dyspraxia because it will help you with your memory. So continuing with this theme, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think that diet affects everything, so therefore memory would be one of the things that of course it would affect. Mm-hmm. Because if you say you are what you eat, then I think keeping that in mind, there is a lot that we can learn.
Mm-hmm. So can you give me some examples?
For our memory, there are quite a few vitamins and nutrients that we need, and I think it is when you read about it, then there is it's pretty much everything in bigger or smaller amounts. Everything that our body needs, our brain needs. Mm-hmm. So vitamin B and C and E, but also D and A and K, and zinc and iron and iodine and antioxidants seem to be playing a big role in that. So I know that you had these three foods that you brought up, which is nuts and blueberries.
Yeah.
And what was the third one?
Turmeric.
And turmeric. So yes, so I was trying to make a list that is not one of those three, but to top it up.
Yeah.
So I guess antioxidants being one of the most important thing for good memory and brain function in general. So it seemed to me that strawberries, blueberries, and spinach, those were three things that kept popping up everywhere I looked. Mm-hmm. So from that I drew out strawberries. Mm-hmm. Because strawberries were on other lists as well, like on the vitamin C list. It was one of the main things, and I think iron as well. Yeah, and so another food is oily fish, and even though the oils that come from animals are not particularly good for us, oily fish is something that I believe that is vitamin B as well in there, and all those omega 3s.
Yes.
So I'm considering that our brain is 60% fat. I totally understand why it would be so important. And carbs also are important because I think about 60% of the energy that we consume is used by our brain. Mm-hmm. And carbs do give us a lot of energy. But as those my brain superfoods, so I already mentioned strawberries would be my number one, and oatmeal and fatty fish, eggs, avocados, broccoli, and orange juice, because there is a lot of vitamin C. And I think just starting a day with oatmeal and a glass of orange juice sounds actually quite good.
Now, before I go, it's important that you understand the relationship between dyspraxia and memory. Therefore, the dietary trips recommended are important for dyspraxia because a good diet improves memory and therefore helps with dyspraxia, because part of dyspraxia can be issues with memory. So it's important that you understand the memory context. It's important that you understand this premise. Now, with that being said, if you want to support the channel, subscribe and like the video. And as always, I sincerely hope you enjoy the content.